you very much. And joining me for a live interview now is the Director of Louisville's Emergency Management Services, Jody Meiman. And Jody, it's good to see you. You have spent a lot of time with the UPS disaster, and we haven't been able to get you into the studio. And now your folks and you are dealing with a winter storm that had really the whole city on guard. It must be quite taxing for the emergency services workers in our community.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing after another, but, you know, they come together and you shift modes and, you know, we're still at the crash site working, especially with the environmental cleanup. But, you know, you shift gears, you still have to have resources out there, and you go right into the planning process for this storm.
Explain to me the emergency routes. We spent a lot of time telling people, move your cars. Metro Police said, hey, if you don't do it, we're going to tow your cars off. What's the main reason why those routes have to have the cars removed when they're probably the same emergency routes that are used on a daily basis?
You know, one of the big things is just for the convenience of the folks that live there, because their car won't get plowed in. But, you know, those emergency routes are really important for the public safety agencies to get around on the main streets and, you know, all around the county and downtown Louisville, and mainly get down to the hospitals and get the places they need to go.
City implemented a new snow removal plan and some tweaks to the process. Even the mayor described different kinds of blades that have been attached with a really unique detail. How's the plan working? You've watched a lot of snowstorms in Louisville. How would you compare this to years past?
You know, just over the last couple snowstorms that we've had, you know, this one included in that, I mean, you know, it seems like things are getting done a lot faster and the roads are getting clear. I mean, this one was leading up. I mean, you were around in '94, and there's not a whole lot of us that were around that were working then, and it sounded like it could have ended up like that, and luckily it wasn't.
It had all the characteristics, especially with the cold weather coming in, but we didn't have any snow plows back then, it seems
Right,
like.
Exactly, and there's a lot of technology and a lot of equipment that's changed.
Now, you're in emergency services, and of course, a prolonged stretch of Arctic air can be dangerous for this community. Not only the fact that we saw in '94 a lot of water mains break. Haven't had that yet. What's your message to people about the cold air coming up?
You know, if you've got to get out, a lot of people are going to be shoveling their driveways. You know, there's actually, just driving over here, there's a lot of people just out walking the streets. If you have to be out, dress warm, but pay attention to yourself, pay attention to signs and symptoms of, you know, if you get exhausted, if you get tingling in your arms, if you get drowsy. I mean, there's heart issues, you know, from overexertion. There's hypothermia that you got to worry about. So make sure you know the signs and symptoms, and if you feel different, make sure you take the appropriate measures to keep yourself safe.
All right, Jody Meiman, always good to see you. Thank you very
too.
much, and for everything you all are doing.